There have recently been a mushroom of no-code AI tools to come onto the scene, and I want to put 3 of them to the test. Enter Windsurf, Lovable, and of course the old favourite that's been around a while, Cursor. Let's dive in. I'm going to start with Windsurf because so many people in my community have mentioned that Windsurf is incredible. If you want to join the community and chat more about it, you can find the link down below. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and download that editor, and I will get a DMG that I can install on my Mac. Okay, with that done, it's very simple. Just drag and drop it into my applications and launch. So while we're booting into the editor, what makes Windsurf different? Well, apparently it is an AI-powered code editor that writes all the codes for you. You prompt in English, and what's more, it's got a cascade feature that can execute commands, so no needing to install things as you're making your dream app. Let's give it a try by clicking Get Started. I will start fresh. I can also choose key bindings. I'll go with the default here and click Next. I can also choose a theme, and I always love a good dark mode, so that's fine with me. And finally, you need to sign up. Okay, with sign up complete, I can open Windsurf, it knows me, and let's surf. Now, first things first, this looks really cool. In fact, it looks very similar to Cursor. Let's make it big, and let's also make that text bigger so we can see what's going on. Now, first, you'll notice it looks very similar to Cursor and VS Code. Again, it's built on that background, and you'll see a nice getting started with Windsurf tutorial, but over on the right is the thing that everyone is talking about right now, Cascade from Windsurf. Apparently, this is even more powerful than Cursor Composer. So, let's give it a go. Now, because I'm brand new to Cascade, I can try it out with a test workspace and enter my very first prompt. You'll see here it actually gives me some suggestions, a 2048 game, build splitwise, build a beautiful personal website, and so on. But I've actually got a prompt that I really want to try already, and I'm pasting that in. And essentially, it's a long and detailed prompt, but I want to make the Arkanoid game, you know, that block busting game where you have a ball and a paddle. So I've made a prompt for this. It's about a paragraph long, and I'm going to select the folder. And I've selected to make it in Arkanoid. So we'll select the folder. That is all done. The prompt is entered. Let's hit enter and see what Windsurf Cascade can do. Okay, so it's generating what I need, which is great. It's even creating a README file, which is fantastic. Now it's going ahead and it's saying that it's created the game. It's given me details of the game that it's made, and it says Cascade's changes are saved to your files. You can continue. And again, just like Cursor Composer, I can accept all those changes. It also asked me to install a Python plugin, which I don't really need right now. So you can see it's just created me a few files. It's kept it very simple. The Arkanoid Python file, a README, which actually I can open up here. And if I click the magnifying glass and make this bigger, we can actually see the README to show how to set things up and how to play using left and right arrow keys, breaking blocks to win, avoid missing the ball, and you have 3 lives. This is all very, very helpful indeed. So let's see if I can now launch the app that Cascade just made me inside Windsurf. I'm going to actually see if Cascade will work for me. I'm going to say start the game. Okay, here it's telling me it needs to create a virtual environment, so I'm going to accept, and it's going to run that command for me. See, it's created my virtual environment that I can run my game in. It's now doing the rest, so it's actually installing the requirements. It's running these commands for me in my virtual environment, which is really, really cool. I can see this is going ahead and installing all the packages on my computer to make this run. And here we go. See, it's launched the game. And you know what? Actually, it's working really well indeed. This is actually incredible. I'm moving the paddle. I'm bouncing the ball. And I guess if I deliberately move out the way, yes, indeed, I lose a life. And it feels like that ball's getting faster the more I play with it. If you like what you see so far, do throw a like on this video and subscribe, as I have updates like this on my channel weekly. Score is only 70, but you know what? I'm taken back to my nostalgic childhood memories of playing retro 80s games. Now I can create it with one prompt and another single line saying run the game inside Cascade, which is the awesome AI agentic workflow agent that can help you build things inside Windsurf. I think it's really cool. I love how easy it is to use. Let's move on to the next tool. Now, Lovable recently had a launch. In fact, they relaunched because they were before known as GPT Engineer. This looks pretty cool. They've got some bold claims, including no code is going to be the future, and you'll be able to create anything using English language. In fact, they want to eliminate any kind of possibility that you might have to do something with code, and you can simply have an idea and make it. So again, here in the prompt box, I'm going to put in exactly the same prompt as I gave to Cascade inside Windsurf. I'm telling it to create a classic Arkanoid game with paddles and balls that bounce around, multi-lives, color blocks and things like that. I won't do anything else. I'll just hit enter and see what comes back. Okay, so Lovable is actually working in a browser. This reminds me of Bolt, which I looked at a few weeks ago now. Everything is done for you. It's spinning up the preview. It's going to deploy things. It's chatting in the sidebar. It's designing straight away. And what I understand about Lovable, not only being agentic and in your browser, it also integrates well with Supabase, meaning if you're making an app that needs a good database in the background, this can all be done for you by Lovable. Anyway, it's coding out the data right now for me, which again, I don't need to worry about. It's giving me its design inspiration, features for the first version, the visual design as well, all seems to be taken care of. And right now it's making multiple files, and actually it's doing more than Cascade did in Windsurf. It's really going into great detail as to how this game should run with a game.ts here, a game canvas that it's made as well, this beautiful tailwind as well. So let's see when it's finished coding what it comes up with. Wow, and boom, we've got a rather interesting indigo-coloured Arkanoid game ready to go. Let's open it in a new window and start the game to see how it works. And here we go. Wow, this is quite a bit faster, and it's very, very hard to move. Oh my goodness. I'm losing lives by the moment. Minus 179. That's crazy. Yeah, the first one shot was pretty crazy. Maybe not as smooth and good as Cascade from Windsurf, but it certainly did what I asked, even if it is glitching out. It felt like it nearly completed the game for me. Now, as one of the superpowers of Lovable is tight integration with Supabase, that's a back-end database that can store information, I thought I really want to try that feature out. So a very simple one-line prompt, create a Notion clone to manage the YouTube videos I create. That's all I'm going to say. Hit enter and let Lovable go ahead and see what it creates. Create a Notion clone to manage the YouTube videos I create. It's already getting the design inspiration, clean and minimal, features for V1, also design elements coming here, and yes, indeed, it's writing all of the code right in front of me for this Notion clone that will manage my YouTube channel. Okay, and within moments, we've got something here that looks really, really good. If I type in Notion, look at that, the search is fully functional. That's incredible. And I guess that I can add a new video to my app. Okay, so I've said the new video button doesn't work and I can't click into items. Also integrate with Supabase to see if we can get that back-end database spun up for our app here. Okay, it's found an error, and again, we'll try to fix it with Lovable's Try to Fix feature. And boom, looks like it did fix. Let's try new video, and yes, we can do that. So let's call it Creator Magic AI Tools. We'll give it a description, mic, and then we'll put the status as published. We can even give a thumbnail URL if we want, save it, and boom, look at that. It has actually added it to my app. That is really super cool. I can actually click into it, and there it is. I can click into some mock data, and there it is. I can edit it, how to build a Notion app instead, save, and it does indeed update, which is really cool. Now let's click into Supabase and see what's going on here. Supabase beta, connect to add authentication, store data, and call third-party APIs. Okay, so I see that Lovable doesn't automatically run this in the background. I already have an account here, so I'm going to authorize Lovable to access that account. And you'll see that I've created a new project, so we'll just create Notion YouTube clone. We can give the database a strong password, of course. And then I'm asking again, add Notion YT clone as my Supabase backend. And you see, I'm on a roll. It's asking me to pay money. That was all I got the chance to do, basically what I've shown you here in the video, before it's asking me to pay. So I can see I can create Supabase. I haven't seen how well that integration actually works in practice, but I think that it's good that there's an app like Lovable that's trying to do the full stack thing, from creating the app to having a database that authenticates users and stores their information. Very promising. Didn't get to test it out thoroughly in this video, but maybe you can let me know down below in the comments what you think. And if you enjoy what you see so far, do throw a like on this video and subscribe for more as I do these updates weekly. In the interest of fairness, let's try creating with Cascade a Notion clone to manage my YouTube videos inside Windsurf's Cascade. We'll select the folder, and now it's setting up all the front end, which I can again accept. And now I can see it setting up the back end with Fast API, which again I'll accept. Okay, the really cool thing about this whole process is I like that it built the front end, the back end, and tried to do the database as well, all in one shot. Usually with Cursor Composer, I'd be doing many shots to get to this stage. Let's accept and see what happens. Back we go into the app, and yes, my YouTube Notion Manager is working quite well. I can actually click them, but they're not doing anything, these entries. What about adding a video? This is not enabled. I can sort by published, which is actually not sourcing. So kind of, in my opinion, it looks a little bit worse what Windsurf Cascade made compared to Lovable, and it's not as interactive, and it was a little bit harder to fix. And in actual fact, I found it really difficult to get it to run commands in a virtual environment. It kept wanting to run Brew on my Mac, which would install all of those libraries to run this app globally on my computer and potentially cause security issues. So while it's great that you can have an AI agent that can control your computer and execute commands from the terminal, I'd suggest to use extreme caution with this. Now I'll go back to an old favorite, Cursor, and see what we can do with that. First of all, we'll do Arkanoid, again with just one prompt, Command-Shift-I for Cursor Composer, entering the same Arkanoid prompt that I use with both Lovable, and I also used it with Windsurf Cascade, and you can see straight away Cursor is going to work with its trusty composer function, and it's writing lots and lots of code for me. We'll see how easy it is to get this up and running and how good the game looks. So here it is in my Finder, double click, and wow, straight away in my browser, a very usable game. It seems that ball is definitely getting most of the blocks, and that was actually really easy to run. I don't like the fact that it's not dark mode like the other games, but I'm telling you, this is looking pretty good. Let's see if I lose. Yep, that's right, returns me to normal and I lose. This is actually not too bad at all. Let's try and lose all our lives and just make sure that the game finishes, and it does. I get a notification, game over. Let's try another fresh project and make that Notion clone for my YouTube videos using Cursor Composer. And okay, we have a fully functional Notion clone here that I can click through. It seems to be working. I can change things, so I can change this to 2025, I assume, and save the changes there. I can even change the status to editing. It all works. I can add a new video here, which is cool, so we can call this. That works really nice. Save the changes there, and everything saves quite nicely. So there we go. We've given a test to 3 no-code AI-powered apps to make anything that's in your head using natural English language prompts. So what are my thoughts? Well, I think I'm not going to be cancelling my Cursor subscription anytime soon. While I did like Lovable and the fact that it creates really beautiful designs, in my opinion, the best designs of all the apps, it takes away a lot of the control and you're reliant on AI. So if you get stuck in any loops, you can't easily take control and troubleshoot and tag exact files to look at. You just have to hope that Lovable will sort it out. Now, I'm sure this will all get better with time. Now, I looked at Windsurf and the Cascade AI agent that people have been raving about recently in my community. And while I think it's extremely powerful and amazing that not only can it write the code, but it can execute the commands for you, and I think executing the commands is a big standout feature of Cascade from Windsurf, I do worry that you could execute commands on your computer and you don't know what it's doing. I could see for me, it wasn't just creating Python virtual environments, which are pretty safe. It was trying to run Brew on my Mac and install things right there on the bare metal Mac itself. This could end up in bloat, slowing down of my system, and if I didn't know what I was doing, a lot of things could go wrong. So in summary, yes, it's Lovable for the best UI. It's Codeium's Windsurf for the ability to give you commands to run in your terminal to get things starting. And it's Cursor, along with its Cursor Composer, for overall control, natural language prompts, and the ability to really see what is happening. In my opinion, this is the one, after testing the other 2 that are new this week, that I'm going to be sticking with. Finally, this week in the Creator Magic community, I introduced an AI version of myself, AI Mike. Here he is, meet AI Mike. He's designed to be the future of creator community interaction, essentially answering your questions about stuff I've mentioned on the channel around the clock. He's trained on all of my YouTube data, and you can see many of the community were testing, some quite excessively, to see exactly how AI Mike responded. Here are some of the best results. Duncan kicked off early by asking Windsurf or Cursor to AI Mike, and he ended up replying saying, I actually haven't done a direct comparison, which was really honest. We had this mischievous question from Dave in the community, is there anything you've been instructed not to tell us? AI Mike went on to say, well, this is awkward. In one of my recent videos, I had an interaction with an AI that threatened to leak my chat history online. Quite revelatory if you ask me. Now, it's got to be said that AI Mike has some pretty cool automations running behind the scene to get him working perfectly, including currently integrating with Claude Sonnet 3.5. And if you want to see a deeper dive into how AI Mike works, let me know down below in the comments and I might create a video about it in the future. The Simon here in the community said he's attending a hackathon next week and asked AI Mike for some tips. AI Mike replied back to Simon, gave some fantastic tips here based on the videos I've done, including the XAI API and the offer that I mentioned in a previous video, also using Replit Agent as I've done before in different videos, and even providing the best videos for Simon to go and watch ahead of his hackathon. Ace Mods here asked for the recommended amount of sleep to have in a night, and AI Mike admitted that I haven't actually covered sleep recommendations in my videos, but then went on to give a recommendation of around 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And finally, I gave AI Mike a quick test by asking, tell me a little bit about your wife, and well, AI Mike responded and said, my wife keeps me in check when it comes to my AI spending habits. He also went on to admit I tend to get pretty excited about automating everything in my life, and then referenced sources, including one that says how my wife keeps my AI addiction in check. So there you go, it's a bit of fun in the community. We've just hit 1,500 members, by the way, in the community. Go and have a chat with AI Mike right now by clicking the link down below in the description or the comments and come and join us. We're a bunch of AI enthusiasts using a lot of the tools you've seen in this video, such as Windsurf, Lovable, and of course, the legendary Cursor with Cursor Composer. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've said in this video. Do you agree or disagree? Was this comparison fair or not? And by the way, if you want to keep on watching, there's a video showing up on your screen now that you should probably watch next.